Go ahead and roll for perception.
I got an 18.
Ooh, 18's really good. With that, you can see some advertising space available.
So you're telling me if I have a product YouTube channel or podcast that I want advertised, I could do it here?
That's right, and you can get more details by emailing thedungeoncast@gmail.com.
Awesome. I'll have to do that. Thank you very much.
Enjoy the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Will.
And I'm Brian.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons and Dragons, from saucy samurai to sloppy slimes. And today, we're revisiting the Sorcerer. All right, Brian.
We're back to the Sorcerer again.
We're back to the Sorcerer again. You know what? We don't talk about the Sorcerer enough on this show, I feel.
I don't think so, because I've forgotten all about it.
It's a really good class. I don't know why it doesn't come up that often. I think the next time I roll a player character, I'll probably make a Sorcerer.
Is this the one with the special spell slots? Like the extra 2 slots that you get that come back for short rests? Or am I thinking about another spellcaster?
That's the Warlock.
Oh, okay.
That's the Warlock. Yeah, quick recap of the Sorcerer. The Sorcerer is a full caster. Arcane caster. Their shtick is that they're born with their spellcasting abilities. So unlike a wizard who studies or unlike a warlock who has to form a pact, they are naturally gifted with inner magic. And
Just
it's
like trust fund babies.
Yeah, I guess so. You could definitely draw that analog. One of the things about them is that the magic within is usually so potent that they don't have a choice but to learn to harness it, because if they don't, people get hurt.
Like X-Men.
Like the X-Men, yeah. The mutant genome must express itself, and it can be dangerous.
So a good storyline for a sorcerer is to find your own special Charles Xavier.
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
cool.
Absolutely. That's actually funny you say that, because one of the subclasses we're going to talk today, I would liken to a very specific X-Man, but we'll get into that later.
Okay.
Mechanically speaking, their major shtick is that they have a feature called meta magic, which gives them the capability to manipulate spells to do things that no other magic user can get them to do.
Oh, that's cool. That's like hags, huh? If you get special magic that doesn't exist to other...
With hags, it's like they get this odd magic. They could just do things.
It's called weird magic,
It's
right?
called weird magic, yeah. But with sorcerers, it's more like they can manipulate the same spells that warlocks and wizards can cast. They can manipulate those spells to do things that the wizard and warlock cannot.
Okay, so if you have something called the laws of physics, it would be like being able to manipulate the laws of physics,
Exactly.
but the laws of magic.
Exactly.
You're bending and breaking the rules.
Very much so. So it's like things like a spell that normally only targets one person can now target 2. They can twin their spells.
Oh, that's
right. Empower their spells. They
and
can
you get to select that kind of thing previous to
yes.
doing the magic, right? Okay.
You can quicken a spell so that it only takes a bonus action to cast it rather than a normal one.
Oh, man.
And the way the resource they use for their meta magic is their sorcerer points, which they have X amount of sorcerer points based off their sorcerer level. I think
like
a level
their special bar.
Yeah, it's like their special bar. So yeah, exactly. So that's the sorcerer. That's the basics of how it worked. We talked about that in the sorcerer episode, which was at this point a very long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get into it. So one last thing about sorcerers is that their subclasses are called origins, because all of them, their inner magic has an original like source. I'm used to calling them bloodlines, so I might slip and call them bloodlines, but they're specifically not bloodlines in 5e because you don't necessarily have to be genetically related to a magical being to become a sorcerer.
Okay.
You can also be infused with magic by like natural phenomenon or exposure to different planes of existence and stuff like that.
Or your rich uncle with no heir can die.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. so let's get into it. The 3 origins that we're going to talk about today are the Divine Soul origin, the Storm Sorcery origin, and the Shadow Magic origin.
Nice.
So
those are all cool names.
Yeah, and I like all 3 of these subclasses a lot, actually. They were all really good. My only big disappointment is I wish the Xanathar's Guide had included a couple more of the Unearthed Arcana Sorcerer origins. There was the Phoenix origin and the Stone Sorcerer origin, and those are really cool and wish they'd made it. But they didn't, so we're not talking about them today.
They have more books coming out, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll show up eventually.
I heard somebody complain that there weren't enough class options compared to like Pathfinder in 5e. Do you feel that? How do you feel about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, number one, Pathfinder's been out a very, very long time, and there's a buttload of options at this point.
Okay.
Like Pathfinder is...
I was under the impression that we only had like, that it came out after 5e, but...
No, Pathfinder came out almost simultaneously with 4th edition.
Oh, it's is this like, are they on a new edition of Pathfinder, or is
I
it
know
just the same?
they're working on the second edition of Pathfinder.
Oh, okay, so this has been out for a while.
It's been out for a long time, and it's super not fair to compare the two's like content level.
I see.
You
okay.
know what I mean?
So it's considering like 5e is relatively new then compared to Pathfinder.
Yes.
So they're releasing their content. They're staggering it out, really.
Right. I will say that 5e is definitely slower on adding new like mechanical options.
Yeah, I feel like there's always books coming out, but like they're just like adventure modules.
I think a big part of that is because in times past they've had a serious problem with power creep.
Yeah. I knew that was part of it, but there are ways to mitigate that.
Way prefer what they're doing now compared to what they did. So like, even though I think like it would be nice if we could get a little bit more content, like a little bit more race and class options.
They're playing it safe.
And quite frankly, if you look at, there's an insane amount of race options now.
Yeah, after Volos.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like we've done a lot of race episodes. We still got a lot more to do, thanks to Mordenkainen's. But yeah, also, it's just a different game. Pathfinder has what are called, oh my gosh, what are they called? It's like a special type of multi-classing. They're called prestige classing, which is a mechanic from 3rd edition, which is basically like there are these. Imagine if you could just take a subclass and multi-class into like a random subclass.
Okay.
There's just countless of these little. They only go up to from levels 1 to 10 that you can subclass or that you can multi-class into, and they're very, very specific things like Holy Knight of the Purple Order. And like you could subclass into that, but okay, that's a discussion for another day.
Right.
Let's get back to the sorcerer.
Okay.
That person's wrong.
Okay.
Anyways, the first origin that we're going to talk about today is the Divine Soul origin. So this origin is celestial in nature. Perhaps an angel or other celestial is a direct ancestor of your character. It's also possible that maybe just a divine being or God placed a spark of divine power into your soul. I find this very akin to like the origin of the Aasimar in 5e.
Yeah.
And as you would expect, the Aasimar pairs with the Divine Soul Sorcerer extraordinarily well.
I was gonna say they seem to have like a lot of these little like breadcrumbs to follow for like different kind. Like your magic is from God, but like there are clerics, but like also there are stuff like Aasimar where like just little pieces here and there that you can compile and like,
which is good for getting nice customizability. So
yeah.
This is actually going to be my favorite of the subclasses we're talking about today, and you'll find out why with this first feature. So at level 1, you get a feature called Divine Magic. With your link with the Divine gives you access to spells from the Cleric class.
Oh, nice.
When you are allowed to learn a spell or replace a Sorcerer spell, you can choose from either the entire Cleric list or the entire Sorcerer spell list.
Oh, wow.
So that's
Incredibly
really awesome.
customizable.
Very customizable.
So you can heal.
And yeah, you can heal. And all of your cleric spells that you choose will still count as sorcerer spells. So all of your features will still boost your cleric spells.
Wow, cool.
In addition, you're told that you must pick an affinity based on the divine power that you're linked with. So you just have to choose good, evil, law, chaos, or neutrality. And depending on the affinity you choose, you'll just get a spell. So with good, you get cure wounds. With evil, you get inflict wounds. With law, you get bless. With chaos, you get bane. And with neutrality, you get protection from good and evil. Now, the reason that I really like this is, well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, you can basically now have essentially a charisma-based cleric, which I just think is a really cool.
That is cool.
It's really awesome to have a healer who can heal like a cleric, but pump it all into charisma. But number two is I grew up playing Final Fantasy, and my first introduction to the idea of like a priest class was the white mage or priest class from Final Fantasy, which is a white-robed, basically wizard character who focuses on healing.
Right.
And so later on when I got into D&D, the idea of the healer being this armored weapon person always kind of threw me off. Like I'm used to it now and I really love the cleric. It's a great class and like it's no longer strange to me. But now you can have a white mage and it's just really dope to me.
That is cool.
I really love this class.
I always
really
like the idea of the big tanky healer, like wearing a bunch of armor. Like I can't move, but if I can do this hand sign, it doesn't matter.
Right, exactly.
Also spiritual weapon. I don't need to move at all.
That's true. That's very true. So you get another feature at level 1 called Favored by the Gods. If you fail a save or miss an attack roll, you can roll 2d4 and add it to the total once per short rest.
Nice.
That's pretty choice since it's per short rest. So that's going to come up fairly often.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 2d4 is nothing to sneeze at. It's better than a d6. So
I've been having issues with like including spots for short rest. Like I feel like I really got to push people to take short rests, or else they just don't. Is that your experience? Like, because like people are like, oh, that has this cool short rest feature, but I'll never get to use it because we never take short rests. And I feel like you don't take short rests because you don't take short rests.
Right, that's on you. You just got to say like, my character wants to take this hour to, bandage up a bit.
Yeah.
I haven't really had that problem because usually I just beat the shit out of my players until they're like, we need to rest, please, dear God. And hopefully no one ambushes us. But,
right.
I mean, it really just depends on your play style. Well, what's the issue you're having exactly?
Just that they don't take them. Like I'm hitting them with the war of attrition, and they're getting weak, and I have a spot open for them to like take a short rest. In case, I was like, they'll probably need a short rest by here, and it's a really good spot to do it because then they'll get into a boss fight right after or whatever, and then they just don't.
All right, well,
I even included a mechanic where
then
they
get to die.
Yeah,
is what
right?
happens. They get to die.
I even included this mechanic the DMG has where you could turn your short rest into like a 5-minute thing.
Yeah, sure. That's like 4E style.
Yeah, and it just doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, I would actually recommend that for like high power games or short one shot type games. But yeah. Okay. I would say kill them is what I would say. I would say don't pull your punches. If they want to take the risk, they can pay the price.
Okay.
So, anyways, moving on. I'm obviously not a benevolent DM. At level 6, you get a feature called Empowered Healing. So with this feature, you can use your sorcery points to boost your healing spells. Whenever you or an ally within 5 feet of you rolls dice to determine HP increase, what I really like that is it's not specific to spell casting heals.
Right.
Like if a fighter's next to you in second winds, you get a boost to their second wind as well. That's if they're within dope. 5 feet of you. Anyways, you can spend one sorcerer point to re-roll any number of the dice that they rolled one time.
So if they beef one,
if they beef one, or if they beef all of them, re-roll all of them.
Oh, the point counts for all the dice?
Yeah, you can re-roll any number of the dice.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
One time.
Wow, that's really cool.
Oh, yeah. Very, very cool. This can be done once per turn, by the way.
Ooh.
So, yeah, they really, I think what happened here is they...
You'll heal well.
They went full tilt with, like, the white mage concept because the thing that would, like, still make the cleric outweigh this is the fact that the cleric is armored to the teeth.
Yes.
So like maybe we should really
stocky. They got high AC, probably high weapon damage output. Not super high.
And since the sorcerer squishy, like let's give them some more boosts to the healing capabilities. So level 14, you get your next feature for this subclass. It's called Otherworldly Wings. You gain spectral wings that you can turn on and off as a bonus action. Flying speed equals 30 feet. And it lasts until you die, are incapacitated, or dismiss them. Now, the book specifically says that if you are good or lawful affinity, you get angel wings. If you are a chaos or evil affinity, you get demon wings. And if you're neutral affinity, you get dragonfly wings. And I just say, do whatever the fuck you want. That's stupid.
If you're neutral, you get eagle wings.
Yeah, there you go. Which just look like angel wings, really. But
oh yeah, I guess that's true.
Right.
Now I picture angel wings with like modern video gaming and stuff, like to be almost like metal. And like kind of angular, like they look like architecture.
Yeah,
like,
you could do that.
They're not like a solid piece like a bird wing would be.
And this is why I say do whatever you want. That's strictly flavor. And I hate when like they're trying to impose like mechanics on flavor that hard. It's really out of place. It's not something 5e usually does.
No, yeah, they give you a lot of freedom with like, what things look like. Or...
I just found this little bit of that same feature a little out of place, and it's unnecessary. I know some people will be like, that's the way it is, and if that's how you run your game's cool, but in my game, I don't give a shit what your wings look like. You tell me.
Yeah, mechanically, as long as it does what the book says it does. I mean, that's the real, like, they're doing this for a balance. You know?
Exactly. And do what makes sense for your character, based off your story and background and all that other stuff. But anyways, moving on to the final feature of this subclass, you get a feature called Unearthly Recovery. This is like a big self-heal feature.
Ooh, okay.
So when you have less than half of your max HP, you can, as a bonus action, regain HP equal to half your max HP once per long rest. Which is, it's really good for your sustainability because the sorcerer is extremely squishy. We're talking about a D6 HP. We're talking about cloth armor only.
Oh.
Yeah, no, the sorcerer it's a wizard.
Yeah.
It's extremely squishy. So a big self-heal is always welcome, even if it doesn't come till level 18.
Interesting that such a squishy character, like we were saying earlier, your healer's so defended. usually, like as a cleric.
Right, exactly. Which, again, like this is the white mage from Final Fantasy, which I love.
This seems much better in bigger parties rather than smaller parties because there's more targets for them to hit other people. You can like run around and get behind fools or whatever.
Indeed. Another thing on the white mage thing is not only was the white mage the first thing that I was like introduced to as a child when it comes to like the healing class. Even when I read Dragonlance, the clerics in Dragonlance are not the armored warrior clerics. They're priests in robes. So and that's a D&D setting. Not that I knew that at the time or anything. So like, for me, I remember when I first got into D&D, the cleric as a concept really threw me for a loop. But anyways, so that's it for the Divine Soul origin. Yeah, if you had anything to add or any questions to ask.
I mean, it's pretty cool, but like it also doesn't make like a ton of sense to me. Like
really? I mean, you're basically a holy sorcerer. For me, like this is like the ASMR class. It's like you would just want to really lean into being an ASMR. It's like you're not a cleric. You're not pious. You're not like you are a sliver of divinity.
Yeah, and you have this like inherent ability to have these powers and everything. It does make sense.
Like you're essentially an angel at this point.
I guess mechanically is what I mean. This doesn't make sense when you have like the other heal options where you don't have to like die in 4 hits.
Remember that you also get all the sorcerer stuff. Like you get to use meta magic on your cleric spells.
That's true. You can also pump out you don't have to do cleric magic. You can pump out like regular like power magic too.
Well, yeah, you couldn't do that. But my point is like now all of a sudden a cleric spell that can heal one person can heal two.
That's cool.
Massive.
Yeah, that is
suddenly a powerful heal spell that takes a full action normally. You can quicken it. Now it's a bonus action. I guarantee you, this thing can pump out way more heals than a cleric if you spec it right.
That's interesting.
Like, which it should because like the takeaway is that you are squishier.
Yeah.
So.
The takeaway is that you will spend some of it healing yourself.
Yeah, and but that's the thing. You are a caster. You're not supposed to be in the front lines. You shouldn't be getting hit like that. So
yeah.
All right, moving on. So the next origin we're going to talk about is the Shadow Magic origin. So the power source for the Shadow Magic origin is the Shadowfell. And you could be related to a shadow entity. You could just be a Shadow Kai. Maybe you were exposed to the Shadowfell as a baby.
The old Raven Queen.
Yeah, the old Raven Queen, yeah. So there's a number of ways that you can have shadow infused into your soul.
R.I.P. Raven Queen. Death does take us all, doesn't it?
I know. So the first feature you get with the Shadow Magic origin is Eyes of the Dark. You gain 120 feet of dark vision. But basically. But it is 120 feet, and there's more.
Cool.
There's more to this. At 3rd level, you gain the Darkness spell. It doesn't count against your learned spells or anything like that, and you can cast it without using a slot if you sacrifice 2 sorcerer points instead of the slot.
That's cool.
And if you do this, if you cast darkness via your sorcerer points instead of your slot, you can see through your own magical darkness, which is pretty
really
potent.
broken.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's very powerful for sure.
It's the best smoke bomb in the game.
Yeah. Now that won't happen till level 3, but still, that's pretty early. Also, level 1, you get a feature called Strength of the Grave. Much like the Shadow Kai, your soul kind of lies between life and death.
Yeah.
For some reason...
Walking that tightrope.
Yeah. For some reason, it makes it harder to kill you, though. I don't know how that makes sense. But basically, the way this feature works is when you are reduced to 0 HP, you can make a charisma save, and the DC is 5 plus the damage that you took. And if you succeed, you are only reduced to 1 HP instead.
Okay.
Now...
that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You can't use this feature, though, if the attack that hit you was either radiant damage or a critical hit. Then you can't use it. So, also, one more thing about this feature is once this feature succeeds, you can't use it again until you take a long rest.
Okay, that makes sense.
Fairly balanced, a little give and take there.
It's going to stop you from losing turns or whatever.
Right.
Like, it seems like that's the biggest punishment in D&D is, like, having you skip your turn.
That's a big one. Yeah. Losing a turn sucks.
So this stops you from losing, multiple turns.
In a way.
Potentially.
Yes. Potentially it does. So the next feature you get is at level 6, and it's called Hound of Ill-Omen. Now, this is a really long and a little bit, detailed, complex feature, so I actually printed it out verbatim.
Welcome to Will's Story Corner. Today's story is a mechanic.
Yeah, today's story is called Hound of Ill-Omen. So at 6th level, you gain the ability to call forth a howling creature of darkness to harass your foes. As a bonus action, you can spend 3 sorcerer points to magically summon a Hound of Ill-Omen to target one creature you can see within 120 feet of you. The Hound uses the dire wolf statistics in the monster manual, but there are some changes.
Okay.
So the Hound is size medium instead of large, and it counts as a monstrosity instead of a beast. It can move through other creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain, but it will take 5 force damage if it ends its turn inside of an object. At the start of its turn, the Hound automatically knows who its target is, and if the target was hidden, it is no longer hidden from the Hound.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The Hound will appear in an unoccupied space of your choice within 30 feet of the target. Roll initiative for the Hound. On its turn, it can move only towards its target by the most direct route, and it can use its action only to attack its target. The Hound can make opportunity attacks, but only against its target. Additionally, while the Hound is within 5 feet of the target has a disadvantage on saving throws against any spell you cast. The Hound disappears if it reduces 0 hit points, if its target is reduced to 0 hit points, or after 5 minutes.
So summon a big monster that fucks up one person.
One very specific person. It fucks that person and only that person.
So the boss, pretty much.
The boss, yeah.
Okay. That's actually really fucking cool.
It's really cool. I really like this feature. It's very flavorful. It's just really wordy.
It reminds me of, we had a ranger that had their like pet beast, Pandora.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of like that plus.
Yeah,
Just
that
like
plus.
that crazy.
Honestly, in a way, it's that plus, but it's also a little bit more limited because it can only do one very specific thing.
True, but that specific thing seems like it's
really good.
Potent.
Yeah, indeed.
It specializes definitely to the maximum.
Right. So at level 14, you get your next feature. It's called Shadow Walk, and when you are in dim light or darkness, you can teleport as a bonus action up to 120 feet to another space that you can see that's also in dim light or darkness. So that's a pretty powerful teleport, especially as a bonus action. It's identical to that feat I talked about in the Shatterkai episode. That Shatterkai could take a feat in 4E, where you could teleport between 2 dim locations or dark locations
I remember that.
within 120 feet of each other. So I was like, oh, they just took that feat and turned it into a feature. Nice. I like it. It's a solid feature.
That is cool. That's really cool. Teleporting is really good.
I love teleportation, and I always try and get my hands on it in games like these. So your final feature is at level 18. It's called Umbral Form. You can spend 6 sorcerer points to transform yourself into a shadowy form. In this form, you will gain resistance to all damage except for force damage and radiant damage. You can move through people and objects like it's difficult terrain, but you will take 5 force damage if you end your turn inside of an object. This form lasts for 1 minute. So it's just a nice, like, defensive form.
Yeah.
And also an escaping form, you know.
I like that.
Yeah, pretty solid. You don't get it to level 18, but, you know.
Yeah.
It'll come in.
How would you rate this among, like, high level?
It's a respectable.
bonuses?
It's a respectable final thing. Like I can't think of anything wrong with it, and I can't think of any ways to make it more powerful without making it OP.
Okay.
So I think it's good. It's good enough.
Nice.
Good job. Anyways.
Thumbs up, Wizards.
Thumbs up, Wizards, yeah. So with that being said, let's take a short rest.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hey everybody, welcome to the part of the episode we're not talking about the last thing we were talking about, even though I thought it was pretty cool. Instead, we're going to talk about you and how much we love you. I love you. We'll tell them.
I love you too.
Okay. Next is people that we love a lot.
Very specific people.
Very specific people, though. Thank you for your Patreon pledges. New patrons. Trinity, thank you. Ray
Thank you, Trinity.
Ray Blee, thank you.
Thank you, Ray Blee.
Colin Ritzinger.
Thank you, Colin.
And Benjamin Diggy Dignan.
Thank you, Benjamin.
See you on Discord.
Oh yeah, check out our Discord. There's like patron exclusive stuff there.
Yeah, if you are on our Patreon, you can. There is a channel. I've been calling them threads, which probably makes me sound like an ancient person. But there are channels on the Discord that are for patrons only. Like we do a Q&A once a month, and it might turn into something else, is what I hear. But is it? Are we doing?
We're brainstorming. We're working on
once a month. We're doing something cool.
We do
Get
something
in on
once
it
a month.
if you're a patron. Otherwise, you can just catch us in the Discord. Me and Will are in there talking to people, and it's always a good time.
Indeed.
There's so, Will, this is episode 99.
It is.
So
we're talking about it. Is that what we're talking about?
I think we're talking about that. This is episode 99.
Okay.
Which, like, if you think about like chronological progression, the next episode has 3 numbers instead of 2.
That's true.
3 digits, if you will.
Yeah.
So just think about that. Just sit on that.
Okay, I will.
Yeah. Anyway, but no, basically for Patreon, we're not going to release the episode 100 early. I'm sorry about that. We are going to put something in its place. Hopefully you appreciate that. So shout out to everybody in the Discord that was in the general tab or that is now in the Punch and Gas. I called it a tab, damn it. Channel.
I do agree that channels are an odd name for the different sections.
Yeah, it makes me, well, like TV's dying, so...
So now channel has a new name.
Yes.
New meaning.
Okay. So if you were in the general channel, dropping episode 100 theories, which has been so much fun for me to watch and participate in, there's now the Cast channel, and they said that they're not going to stop with that one.
Oh yeah, and I don't want them to.
Yeah, it was real good, real good, and you will be rewarded. Anyway, do we have anything else we want to announce?
No, just telling people where we're at, ask them. Spread the word.
Oh yeah, please spread the word. We're gonna make a big push soon to get awareness about our show out there.
New contest incoming.
Yeah, so if you want to just get ahead of the curve on that, just tell people that you think like D&D about the show. Or if you think they would just like the show and they don't know anything about D&D like me. So you can find us on Twitter at the Dungeoncast. Please follow us there. You can email us at thedungeoncast@gmail.com if you have a story or questions. You can find us on YouTube where you can see our faces, or on any podcast app or soundcloud.com/thedungeoncast. But thank you very much, and we will see you on the other side of this rest, which is back at the show.
Let's get back to the show. All right, Brian, we're back.
Back at it again. Damn, Daniel.
And we got one more origin to talk about.
Damn.
And it's a really cool one, I think. It's called the Storm Sorcery origin, and we were talking about X-Men earlier, and I feel like if you were to try and build the character Storm from X-Men, you would build a Storm Sorcerer, no questions asked.
You wouldn't be the Storm Herald Barbarian or whatever that is?
No, I don't see Storm as a Storm Herald Barbarian. No. She
no
flies,
act.
she throws lightning, and she can change the weather, which is everything this origin can do.
If you rage and you jump hard enough, it's like flying.
It's you're semi-flying. So this
falling with style.
Indeed. This origin's power source comes from the elemental plane of air. You can either have genie blood in your genetics or other type of elemental relations, maybe genasi, which just comes back down
just
to
genie blood.
or just exposure to the magical storms from that plane, that just kind of get infused with you while you're a baby, most likely, as we've established.
Ooh.
So I love
just hide your babies.
Hide your babies. So I love it when you get two features.
Or don't, in this case, sorry.
Infuse it with the power.
I'm going to hold my baby outside. Don't question me.
Hope for the best.
Trust me, it's going to work.
So I love it when you get two features. Your first feature is called Wind Speaker. With this feature, you can speak, read, and write Primordial, and also the 4 dialects of Aquan, Orin, Ignan, and Terran.
Nice.
Which is nice. I don't know how much sense it makes to just inherently be able to speak these languages, but whatevs. Next, you get Tempestuous Magic. So you can use a bonus action on your turn to cause whirling gusts of air to briefly surround you.
Don't they call those tornadoes?
Or dust devils, sure.
Yeah.
I guess. Mini tornadoes. This allows you to fly 10 feet immediately before or after you cast a spell of level 1 or higher without provoking opportunity attacks.
Storm does that. She
exactly.
flies into the air and then all of a sudden
cast lightning and then land over here.
And it's almost like she can't stop it. Like she's just like flying into the air most of the time when she's popping off.
Yeah. So it's very much the same as this.
Cool.
So at level 6 you get a feature called Heart of the Storm. With this feature you gain resistance to lightning and thunder damage. In addition, whenever you cast a spell that deals these types of damage, one creature within 10 feet of you also takes damage of that same type equal to your sorcerer level.
They have to?
Yeah, they have to. There's no save.
Oh, shoot.
It's like, bam, 6 lightning damage.
So
to
even your
face.
friend?
No, it's a creature of your choice.
Oh, it's of your choice. My bad. I missed that part.
Indeed.
Well, that's really good then.
No, it's solid. Yeah, solid damage output for sure. I'm going to drink some of this water.
Yeah, I'm always afraid of like effects like that in games where like, dude, I have to hurt my friend to do this. Like Wizards when you want to cast like a big ass spell, but everybody's in the way.
Yeah, I mean, sorcerers, basically any spell casting that's like a big radius. I don't know. 5e actually has less of friendly fire than 4e. I remember 4e you had to really think about friendly fire a lot,
like with your once a days and stuff.
Yeah, and your encounters and even your at wills at times. But yeah, So you actually get a second feature at level 6 with this origin. It's called Storm Guide. You gain the ability to affect the weather. You can stop rainfall within a 20-foot radius around you. You can use a bonus action to change the direction of the wind within 100 feet radius of you.
Ooh,
so
that's cool.
Just nice, cool little utility stuff.
Especially if you're like on the high seas or whatever.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. At level 14, you get a feature called Storm's Fury. When you are hit by a melee attack, you can use your reaction to deal lightning damage equal to your sorcerer level to the attacker. The attacker then must make a strength save versus your spell DC. On a fail, the attacker is pushed 20 feet in a line away from you. So it's like you just blast them with lightning and they go flying.
Nice.
I really like this feature.
That is cool.
It's pretty dope. And finally, at level 18, you get a feature called Wind Soul. With this feature, you gain immunity to lightning and thunder damage, and you also gain magical flight, speed of 60 feet.
Oh, yes.
You can reduce your own flying speed to 30 feet and choose a number of creatures equal to 3 plus your charisma mod and grant them a flying speed of 30 feet. You take yourself and your whole party up into the skies and fly wherever you want.
You are great at birthday parties.
Indeed.
There's nobody that doesn't want you there.
I know. It's so true. And you could do this once per short rest.
Oh, nice.
So,
wow.
Solid. Flying does have its combat capabilities, but at level 18, whatever you're fighting can usually deal with flight.
Yeah.
So this isn't really like a hugely powerful like combat thing in level 18, but it's really fun and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Storm Sorcerer. It actually came out of Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, but they reprinted it for Xanathar's Guide.
I appreciate the reprint. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't have Skag.
Right. I do, but yeah.
Yeah, so sweet. This is the one I'm going to build.
Oh, yeah, I figured as much. I thought you'd be attracted to Storm Sorcerer.
I found the perfect, while you were talking about it, I was like, I thought of something that's kind of like Ranger Danger. As far as like a one-shot version. And I'll just explain it as this is going to be one of the characters. I'll just explain the game, the one-shot I have in mind, and this character as I build it.
Okay, sounds good.
Let's take a break, and we'll get into that.
We'll do that.
Back from break, building stuff.
Indeed.
What am I building today, Will?
I don't know. You tell me. A sorcerer for sure. I know that.
It's a sorcerer, but it's a what was it called?
A storm sorcerer.
A storm. It was that. That was it.
Storm sorcery sorcerer.
I'm a storm sorcery sorcerer.
Indeed.
And redundancy is the name of the game.
Indeed.
My name is going to be John Paul Jones.
Okay.
And you can just call me JPJ or JP Jones.
JP Jones, not to be mistaken with the Led Zeppelin bass player, right?
Or do mistake it, and that's fine.
Okay. Sounds good.
Because I also play the bass.
Awesome.
That's there's just a big stand-up bass on my ship.
Plays bass.
It is my ship. I am the captain of a boat.
Nice. What's the name of the boat?
The Joner.
Okay.
The SS Joner.
The SS Joner. I love it.
That's like in hockey. Like you call your line mates like weird versions of their last name. Like if my name was Jones, you call me like Joner or Jonesy.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah,
I see. So tell us about JP Jones.
JP is a hardcore, just like super duper magical dude.
Nice.
He's not just magical in like the sorcery sense. He's also a phenomenal ship captain.
Awesome.
And he captains a crew of just like the least scurvy dudes ever.
Awesome.
They should have scurvy. They don't because magic.
Okay, nice.
Nah, he's keeping fruit on deck.
What race is JP Jones?
He's a Air Genasi.
Nice. So as an Air Genasi, you're going to get a +2 to Constitution and +1 to Dexterity. As an Air Genasi, you can hold your breath indefinitely, so you don't need to breathe, and you get access to the Levitate spell. I think at level 3. I think.
Yeah,
okay,
level
cool.
3.
Level 3. But speaking of which, what level is JP Jones?
Level 10.
Level 10 Storm Sorcerer. So he's calling down the thunder.
He's calling down the thunder, and like people are boarding his ship, and they're not getting off. And they are getting off, but they're just being like thrown into the sea dead.
Oh, so he's a straight up pirate.
No, like pirates are boarding his boat, and he's defending his territory.
See. I was like, damn, JP Jones a cold-blooded killer.
JP Jones is an explorer.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So he explores. Is that what he does with his crew? That's how he makes his money?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. All right, well, let's roll. Oh, boy.
I'm just kidding. That's
let's definitely roll some stats for our boy Joner. JP.
The boat is Joner.
I know.
Okay. Let's see. We've got
that looks
11.
Like an 11. All right. So I'll put it here. We'll allocate in a minute here.
And then I've got 5, 4. That's 9. I got, what's that, 15?
Yeah, I think that's a 15.
Yay, a good stat.
Nice. Charisma, hello.
I have rolled so bad on this show.
I know. And it looks like
4, 2, 1, 7.
The streak continues.
15 is good.
It is.
Ooh, there we go. 6, 5, 5.
16. Okay.
I'm
It was
all right.
Min-maxed for sure. You got a 15 and 16. You're good.
Oh, there is
It's another 16.
another 16.
Holy shit.
I'm good at 3 things.
You got one more roll.
5, 4, 3. So that's 12.
Yeah, 12. Respectable.
Pretty good.
More than respectable. Quite powerful. So how do you want to allocate these?
I have shit intelligence. No, I'm just kidding. Dump stat.
Yeah, that's a 7, my dude. So remember that.
Dump stat.
Strength.
Yeah, actually.
JP Jones.
Everything else has to be good. He doesn't need to be strong.
He doesn't.
He's doing magic
He doesn't.
and thinking his way out of his bad
He'll just
situation.
electrify anyone who tries to mutiny.
I mean, I probably have like at least a couple fighters in my employ.
Yeah, and they obey you because you'll electrify them if they start a mutiny.
Probably, or I'll make them fly into the air.
There you go.
So
there goes a 7. You're looking at an 11, a 12, a 15, and 2 16s now.
okay. Let's put my spellcasting mod is charisma, right?
yeah.
So let's just put a 16 in that bad boy,
Wise.
and then let's put the 12 in con.
Okay, cool. You get a +2 to that, so that turns into a 14.
Nice, and then Dex is the next big one.
15 or 16 in that
16.
one. Oh boy, okay, nice. Get that AC up.
And then wisdom, the 15.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Yeah, where did we go wrong?
Yeah,
What do we got?
no, we're right. So all you have left is an 11
For intelligence.
for intelligence. All right. So at level 10, you're going to get 2 ability score increases.
Okay.
Well, 4 really.
True.
So how do you want to allocate that?
Dex +2
Okay, so Dex becomes an 18.
and charisma. Let's just
Becomes
really
an
go
18.
for
Yeah,
it.
I think that's wise. So you got a -2 to strength, a +2 to con, +4 to dexterity, 0 to intelligence, +2 to wisdom, and +4 to charisma. You are quite a powerful character, man.
That seems like a good ship captain.
Indeed.
He doesn't have to be the smartest
Indeed.
guy. You probably have a smart guy.
Yeah.
You just need to be a wise guy.
Let's roll some HP. I need you to
It's
roll
D6s, right?
9. Well, your base starting HP is going to be 8.
Oh God, 8.
So you start with 8
terrible.
HP base. So I need you to roll 9 D6s.
Okay, and then we're not adding the extra charisma mod, or sorry, the extra con mod till. Oh wait, I didn't get an extra con mod, did I? All right,
No. Well, you are, after this, you're going to get 36 HP based off your con mod. So.
Okay, cool. So here's a 5, a 5, and a 6,
Okay, so
that's
5,
16.
5, 6,
and then 2.
2. All right, we need 5 more.
Here's 4 more. 2 more 6s.
Oh boy, 6,
Nice.
6,
And then
what
a 3
else?
and a 1.
3 and a 1.
Which
All right.
only seems fair.
And then one more.
A 2.
2. All right.
That seems okay.
Well,
I rolled a lot of 6s.
I got to do some math here, so give me a second here. So 10,
love
16,
math.
18, 33, 33, 34, 35, 36. 36 plus 36 is 72 plus 8. You have exactly 80 HP at level 10.
Compared to everybody that played Ranger Danger at level 11, this seems like the low die really did affect what was going on.
Compared to, okay, so in Ranger Danger, we're all playing Rangers.
It was like 100, and everybody was over 100 HP for sure.
I wasn't.
No?
No.
Weren't you like?
Yeah, I was
what?
at like 81.
Oh, okay.
So for a sorcerer, this is excellent.
Oh, nice.
You-
I rolled a really good character.
You rolled 2 5s and 3 6s, my dude.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I did do that.
So your
Hooray
AC,
for rolling HP.
yeah, your AC with a +4, you have 14 AC because you're wearing cloth armor.
Nice. That's not bad. That's like a mage armor person.
Yeah, and then you're gonna get you get all the sorcerer spells. You're gonna get lightning and all kinds of stuff. So,
I am a
Witch
terrifying ship captain, but I rule with benevolence,
bolt. Nice.
and I do rule my ship.
This
It's
is
like
a very powerful character.
I don't take no flack from nobody.
Let's see. As a storm sorcerer, the subclass features you're gonna get Wind Speaker, which again, well, you already kind of could speak Primordial, but now you get all the dialects as well. You can fly as that bonus action between spell casting to get the hell out of danger. You have resistance to lightning and thunder damage. And when you cast spells that deal that type of damage, you can deal damage to another person who's 10 feet of you if you want. And you can affect the weather with your Storm Guide ability,
Nice.
stopping rain and affecting the direction of wind, which will come in real handy on the open seas.
Yeah, man.
So
when we need to get the hell out of there, we turn around and get the hell out. I went into battle with an entire fleet. I wasn't leading this fleet, so this isn't my bad. But basically they were going to go take down the Kraken. They employed me to help them, and when it started breaking bad, I changed the direction of the wind and got the hell out of there.
Hell yeah.
My ship
Nice.
didn't even take damage.
I like this character. Very solid. Very
Yeah.
powerful.
Getting
Very
ready to bounce whenever.
All right. Well, I think with that, we can call it a game.
I think we should.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye, game.
The Dungeoncast.